Today we're going to be talking about the functions in DAX that allow you to convert text to numbers, format values, as well as concatenate strings together. Hi, welcome back to our video series on Power BI Basics. We're teaching you how to use Power BI with short, easy to follow tutorials. Let's jump in. Alright, so here we are on our Power BI home screen. The first thing that we're going to cover is the value function. So I'm going to click New Measure here, and I'm going to create a value with just, it's going to be a string, but it's going to have the number 1 in this. And we're going to call this text number. So now when I bring this over, and I'm going to bring this over into a table, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to drag over my text number. What you'll see is that it currently is a number. Now, if I try to multiply this times 10, for example, I'm going to get a number. And that's because there's implicit conversion here with that. But if I try to go 0.1000, let's just see if there's that implicit conversion still clicks in. Yes, it does. But what if I try to go ahead and say, is this a number? So if I go is number, I put this around here, what I'm going to get is I am going to get a false because it's not currently a number. Now, value extracts out the number out of this. So if this is my text string here, and here we go, you'll see here it is. If I wrap this in value, it'll go through and it'll convert it to a number. And so you'll see my zeros go ahead and drop. Now, this is important because I can now format this like currency versus without this value function, I couldn't do it. So, see, look, it's just a string. So value is important because it allows us to use what is a column of text and convert it into numbers. So one of the things I could do is use the isNumber function, and then if it's not a number, try to convert it, and then if it is a number, actually perform an operation with it. So that is the value in the isNumber function. Now, let's move on to formatting. So formatting is very important because it allows us to actually go ahead and format specifically. So let's look at a couple of important formatting strings in DAX. All right. So first things first, the format function, it takes a value, and then it takes a format, and then essentially like a local incursion. So for example, let's just say that we had the text number string 100.0000000. Let's just say that this is a format string. In this measure, this is what it would return as text. But if I wrap this in a format, and I give this a format string here of currency, right, and wrap it here, you will, and I'll have to use my value function here, so I'll extract the value out of it, and then I format it as currency. You will see, boom, now it's currency. Now, with the locale, let's just say I wasn't in the US, what I could go ahead and do is I could put in here, I could put in DE-DE, and I could return it in the German locale, or in euros. Now, let's just say I had a bunch of phone numbers, and they were all just numbers or in strings, right? So I had a phone number of 760-858-1234, right? What I could go ahead and I could do is I could format it like this. I could put in an actual formatting string. So I could put in hashtag dash, hashtag dash, And then I think we've got 4 more here, hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. And then I'll go ahead and I'll remove my locale. What you'll see is it will now format this as a phone number. So I took a raw text string, I converted it to a number, and then I formatted it like a format. Now let's talk about concatenation. So with concatenation, there is a concatenate, right, which takes 2 texts. There's also a concatenate X, which takes an expression, a delimiter, and then an order by. But that one's a little bit more complicated. But just know it exists, very similar to the way in the last video we were talking about sum and SUMX. And then finally, you can concatenate things with just an ampersand. So let's take a look at how this works. So let's just say I wanted to concatenate here. I wanted to concatenate a column dog, and then I wanted to concatenate a column of cat. Now this only takes 2, but you can change these together. So now I've got dog, cat. But let's just say I wanted that space. I could instead concatenate with an ampersand sign. So I could go ahead and I could go dog, ampersand, and then in strings I could go cat, and then ampersand here. And now I would get dog and cat and space. Now this is really useful when you're trying to go ahead and put together a measure. All right, so let's go ahead and review what we learned. So we learned how to convert strings into values, how to take those values and how to format them, and then how to concatenate text, both using the concatenate function and the ampersand. So if you're interested in learning about Power BI, please subscribe. We're currently releasing a new video tutorial every single day, and we'd be happy to have you along for the journey.